New York University, once widely considered one of America's top academic institutions, but now that prestige is up for debate after NYU fired a highly regarded organic chemistry professor, a man who taught at Princeton for 4 decades, all because some of his students told the school his classes, they're just too tough.
I heard that guy was not a very good professor, so
he deserved to get fired.
Yeah.
Not every professor is taught to be a teacher.
I think there are a lot of people who feel like they are entitled to stuff, especially at NYU.
If they think he's worthy of being fired, he's worthy of being fired. If not, it doesn't really matter.
Can we talk to her first and then, or I don't want to assume your pronoun.
Yes, I'm Kate, she, her.
He says he's taught at Princeton for decades. He's never had this problem before. It's Gen Z's problem. They're the problem. They're to blame. What do you say to that?
I don't know, times are changing, so.
As you'd imagine, NYU has a certain ideological bent to it. But is dumbing down classes to appease Gen Z really the way to go? Hey, how you doing? You ever feel like NYU's education is being watered down?
I would say that if all of the large number of students in his class petitioned and argued that it was on the fault of the teacher versus the one teacher arguing that defending himself, then I think he's underestimating students nowadays in general.
But not every professor is taught to be a teacher. They kind of just have a career and then they go into teaching it.
This guy taught for 40 years at Princeton. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, but I think that the kids obviously can have a point.
I'm not agreeing with any of this. I don't think the professors need to change it. Why do we all of a sudden need to change right now? Because a couple students complained that something was too hard.
Education is a privilege. We come to this school, we're not guaranteed anything. We're here to work hard. What does that say about our school that a group of students can just run around the school and make a petition and get an amazing professor fired?
Make these tests easier. Cut us some slack here.
Sorry, no. You're going to turn those kids out in the world with an expectation that they understand what they went to school for. You're going to hire them into positions where they apply that knowledge. And if they don't have the knowledge to apply, their work will be poor.
Well, if you're looking at a university and you look at the curriculum and something's too hard for you, then go somewhere else.
Why are we dumbing it down here for a small number of people who just aren't happy?
What makes NYU a prestigious school?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say, you could look at our numbers and our rankings and all that. I'd say we have really good professors. Personally, I think we have really well...
you just let go of one of them.
I know.
It's hard to say what the long-term effects of NYU's new standard of academic excellence will mean for students, but from the looks of it, so far, it's not going so well. In New York, for Newsmax, I'm Mike Carter.
I appreciate that, Mike Carter. Following one report, though, of these woke decisions in colleges to another, it's like it never stops. Conservatives coming down on Yale for their law clerk boycott. Are our law schools straying further from the bastions of debate that they are billed as, to force the future lawyers to learn how to actually exercise those skills? One judge saying, I'm particularly concerned that if a law school faculty represent one single viewpoint and actively shut down disagreement, students and education suffers. I'm joined now by our legal experts. William Jacobson is the founder of legalinsurrection.com, and also with us, Ameer Benno is a former prosecutor and constitutional law attorney and Newsmax contributor. Welcome back to both of you. Okay, so Ameer, I'll go to you first on this one. This Yale thing, we now have it's like come full circle, because everyone used to be, oh, Yale law clerk, we're going to hire you. We're only going to hire Yale law clerks, actually, at whatever prestigious, judge has. The problem is they've said, you people coming to me are less experienced because you shut down opposing views and then you get here and you can't argue the merits of your argument. What do you say?
Oh, I think that's a valid viewpoint. And I think Yale has come under, legitimately so, a lot of criticism because it has been so lopsided and biased. And I think because of the institution and because of the reputation that it's had at the top of the law school food chain, so to speak, that it has no incentive to try to create a balance, that the professors who work there feel more of akin to their own ideology than they do to any sort of institutional respect. They're not trying to create a balance for their students, but they're just hewing to their own ideological perspective, regardless of what the outcomes are, and the students are worse off for it.
Yeah. No, I think, William, but if we're having this where Yale law, which is half the Supreme Court went to Harvard or Yale law, actually more than that, if we can't trust them, where is the beginnings of the new law clerks?
Well, I think that's a problem, but I disagree with these judges for completely ruling out Yale. All of the criticisms are absolutely fair of Yale Law School, but if you have conservative students who can still thrive in that environment, you have identified really talented people. and I know that from my experience teaching at Cornell Law School, that the conservative students, whether they're in the law school or the university, are often the best prepared because they survive in such a liberal environment. Conservative students have to be prepared to defend their arguments every single day on a campus like Yale and a campus like Cornell. And if a judge can identify those students who manage to survive in that environment, I think they've identified really good law clerks. So I disagree with these judges for ruling out an entire law school, even though I think their criticisms of that law school are completely valid.
Yeah, no, you know, you actually bring up a very valid point there, Will. But my wife went to Yale. She didn't go to Yale Law School, but she went to Yale, and she's a little disgusted with the direction of the school and how they've basically shut down viewpoints. So you got to wonder, though, is it the right move to just say, you know, most of you guys, I feel like, are coming out bad apples, so the few great are going to be omitted from this process. But Ameer, I know you've been following this. The Supreme Court obviously back in session. New York gun laws, a stay was issued yesterday. Places like Times Square, you can't be a sensitive place. And also, you can't make people prove that they're a decent fellow. You got to give them a first-class right. What do you make of it?
No, I'm glad that the Judge Sotheby in the Northern District issued the decision he did. I don't think that he went far enough. I think there's a lot more that he could have done in order to strike down this unconstitutional law. But yeah, there's no historical tradition in our country of designating so many places as sensitive locations where guns are forbidden. And so therefore that ban, as well as many of the other attributes of this new statute, are unconstitutional. So ultimately the Second Circuit will weigh in. I don't think that they're going to back Judge Sotheby, but so I think this is ultimately going to head its way up to the Supreme Court again.
Yeah, William, real quick, I got less than a minute left, but do you think that the Supreme Court ultimately is just going to come down and be like, look, we tried to give you the ability to regulate this. You've shown us every single time you screw it up. Therefore, we're giving you constitutional carry.
Well, I think that what's probably going to happen is the Supreme Court's going to have to get involved again. Now, they've been very hesitant for a decade to take a gun case, to take a Second Amendment case. They took the one out of New York, and what is New York doing? Basically, you know, thumbing their noses at the Supreme Court and saying, you can decide whatever you want, but we're going to get around it. And so I think this might be one that gets back into the Supreme Court, and I don't think New York is going to like the result.
Yeah, I have actually tried under the new rules and laws to get my New York permit. I'm a lawful carrier in like close to 40-something, actually over 40-something states. I can't get a New York permit as a former Navy SEAL. It's the most ridiculous process in the world. William Jacobson, Ameer, Benno, always a pleasure. Appreciate you guys being here.
No crooked establishment.
None of that twisting the
truth.
No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax.
Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think.
They let me decide.
Newsmax.
Real news
For real people.